This video will discuss multiplying fractions and dividing fractions. We'll start with multiplying fractions. To multiply the fractions a over b times c over d, we multiply straight across the numerator and straight across the denominator. So in this case, I'm going to take a times c straight across the numerator to get ac, and I'm going to multiply straight across the denominator b times d to get b times d in the denominator. Let's try a couple examples. The first example, I'm going to multiply the fraction 2/5 times 1/4. I need to multiply 2 times 1 to get 2, and multiply 5 times 4 to get 20. I notice this fraction is not simplified. 2 and 20 share a common multiple of 2. So I'm going to pull a 2 out of the 2, leaving a 1, and I'm going to pull a 2 out of 20, leaving 10. The resulting fraction is 1 over 10, 1/10. So the simplified answer is 1/10. Alternatively, to solve this problem, it's okay when multiplying fractions to simplify first. I see I have a 2 in the numerator of my fraction, and I have a 4 in the denominator, so I can actually simplify in the beginning before I multiply. The 2 in the numerator and the 4 in the denominator simplify down to 1 over 2. There's a 2 inside of the 2, and there's 2 2's inside of the 4. So I simplified that down. Now I multiply straight across the numerator. 1 times 1 is 1, and 5 times 2 is 10. Either way you do it, you'll get an answer of 1/10. Feel free to solve the problem whichever way seems simplest to you. In example 2, I'm going to multiply the fraction -2/3 times the fraction 5 1/6. 5 1/6 is a mixed number. If we write 5 1/6 in improper form, we take 5 times 6 plus 1. That value will all be over 6. So it's 31/6. This is the same fraction as 5 1/6. It's just written in improper form. Now, going back to the original problem, to multiply -2/3 times 5 1/6, I take -2/3 times 31/6. Now I can simplify. 2 goes into 6 3 times, so I leave a 1 up in the numerator, a 3 down in the denominator. Multiplying straight across the numerator gives -31, and straight across the denominator gives 9. So -2/3 times 5 1/6 is -31 over 9. Let's move on to dividing fractions. To divide the fractions a over b divided by c over d, we're going to keep the original first fraction, a over b. We're going to change division to multiplication, and we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of c over d. We're going to change c over d to d over c. You may remember this as keep, change, flip. So now I've turned my division problem into a multiplication problem. Division is the same as multiplication of the reciprocal. Now I can just multiply across the numerator to get a times d, and multiply across the denominator to get b times c. Let's try a couple examples. Example 1, I'm dividing 4/5 divided by -1/2. I do a keep, change, flip. So 4/5 stays the same, division changes to multiplication, and I flip -1/2 over to become 2 over -1. Now I multiply across the numerator to get 8, multiply across the denominator to get negative 5. And we generally don't leave our negative in the denominator. I would write it as the fraction negative 8/5. And finally, let's do one last example. Here I am dividing two mixed numbers. I will first rewrite 3 1/4 as an improper fraction. 3 times 4 plus 1 all over 4. So that's 13 over 4. So negative 3 1/4 is really negative 13/4. And similarly, I need to change 5 3/8 into an improper fraction. 5 times 8 plus 3 all over 8 is 43 over 8. So 5 3/8 is really 43 over 8. Negative 5 3/8 would really be negative 43 over 8. And I am now dividing negative 13/4 divided by negative 43/8. Now I need to do my keep, change, flip. I notice first of all I have a negative divided by a negative, so my negatives have canceled out. I also notice that there's an 8 in the numerator and a 4 in the denominator, so I'm going to pull a 4 out of each, leaving a 2 in the numerator and a 1 in the denominator. So now I have 13 times 2 in the numerator and 1 times 43 in the denominator. So I have 26/43. And that's our final answer.